specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hobble way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. Car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hobble way. Experience the difference at hobbledodge.com. The easy way to buy.
Two iconic comedians, one night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now let me just, listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey, together.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Granger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
We're getting you ready for the Tankapalooza between the Kings and the Jazz, so we're excited about that. Great to have Jay back with us. Let's get going, Ellen, though, before we get into that. With this hour's breaking news, the Spurs and your guy, Jeremy Sohan, have agreed on his release to allow the 2023 All-Rookie team member to become a free agent. He is expected to decide among multiple interested teams.
And before anybody chuckles, and I know some people will say, well, if he's not playing on the Spurs, then what's the deal? I mean, the Spurs are a top 3 team in the West right now.
Good club. Man, they annihilated the Lakers last night.
And one thing that we've kind of learned from these situations, Whitey, going back to the buyout conversations, whether it be with DeRozan or with Westbrook, is you're not doing stuff like this unless there is interest. So the way I'm looking at it is Sohan's camp said this because they believe that there is interest out there for him. If there was no interest, you're not really in a rush to do this. I was thinking off the top of my head, when's the last time something like this happened? Cam Thomas is a little bit different. They had the back and forth with the qualifying offer. He's a little bit older than Sohan, but you don't see this a lot with young players. So to me, the only reason you go in this direction is because there is interest and somebody out there, Sohan's camp believes that there will be a team out there, maybe a couple, that will maybe take a flyer on him to end this season. And then you go ahead and give him whatever deal that he hopes that he can get. It probably won't be crazy, but he was due to be a restricted free agent anyway. So, he'll get it. It'll probably be two versions of a prove it deal. A prove it deal right now, and then if it goes well, they'll give him, I don't know, a 3-year kind of Jake LaRavia even type deal that he got with the Lakers.
Saw him last night.
I watched him last night too. He actually was scoring some shots because I know Laker fans were upset with him because he wasn't shooting threes. But I would assume something like that, some type of prove it deal on one of these up-and-coming teams, we'll say, to see if he can fit in anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know where the Kings fit into any of that. Not sure they have interest. I think they certainly should. Last week when you brought it up, you were talking about, would you trade for him? And I was like, But if he's a free agent and he's looking to latch on somewhere, I'm definitely interested. I don't know if I can compete with the other teams, whoever they may be, but I'd sure like to try. I do have an open roster spot. Not sure about my financial flexibility there, but I'd be very interested if I'm the Kings.
Well, I think it turns into money and also fit. So when you say if you can compete with other teams, you just mean from a money perspective?
Or even just his interest.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would say this, somebody like him, and it's similar to what we were talking about yesterday with these draft picks. This is a situation where if you are Sohan, you want to go somewhere that you think you're going to play, right? And you're not always going to get a good market, good weather, playing time. You're not going to get all of those things. So for Jeremy Sohan, I mean, maybe I got on purple lenses, but it feels like the Kings should be towards the top of my list if I'm him. I mean, if you look at some of the teams that are out there, if you go to it's the same conversation as the draft picks. Because if you look at all the bottom feeders, I think the Pelicans might be interesting, but I don't know what the heck the Pelicans are doing. The Jazz got all their young guys. The Mavericks might be interesting. The Grizzlies might be interesting. But again,
there might be some decent teams too.
You think so?
There might be, because he can defend, which is why I would be very interested if I'm the Kings, assuming that it's all true, everything about how we want to start at the defensive end. It's one thing he can do. He can guard people.
I got one for you, and this is kind of the area when it comes to you don't have your draft pick, which is why the Pelicans might be a good shout. But you know who's another good shout?
Who's that?
The Phoenix Suns. They have no first, trying to get younger. They were, they basically said, hey, we're going to continue this. We're getting younger via Jalen Green. And obviously Devin Booker's not old, but he's going to be your guy moving forward. You gave him all that money. I would look at the Suns as a team where we don't have picks. So the only way we can get younger is to grab a 22-year-old and see what he can do.
Not sure what their financials are, but I understand where you're going. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Does it make sense that you got two teams playing tonight, an NBA game, and neither one of them is going to try? And it's just pathetic, but it's prudent, right? It makes sense, even though it runs counter to a lot of the things we think sports are supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's a really weird feeling, but you got to see the bigger picture. And the big thing with the Jazz, because everybody is getting on the Jazz right now, and Dan Favali of Bleacher Report's going to join us at 4 to kind of give us a national perspective on how the Jazz are viewed versus the Kings. But the big thing about the Jazz, I don't even know if their fans are upset about it, because the fans get it. They understand it. They know what it is. Now, certain people that have gone to games, and, there's always those casual fans that maybe didn't know, hey, the Jazz is traded for Jaren Jackson. Let's see what they can do. And then they sit in the fourth quarter, and you're kind of confused about that. By the way, when they did that against the Heat, I know they did it a couple times, but when they did it against the Heat and everybody got mad, it was on the road, right? It wasn't in front of Jazz fans. I think they would still do it in front of Jazz fans, but that specific time was on the road. I think a lot of fans get it. And if you're the Jazz, you're thinking, yeah, let's go get another pick, and we have something to look forward to. We got Jaren Jackson to pair along with Lauri Markkanen. So everybody that's upset about it, it's more about the principle, as you say, and maybe the moral standpoint of what sports are supposed to be. But this isn't high school. This isn't backyard. This isn't that. It's a business, and sometimes you got to see the forest for the trees, and it might not be pretty.
Good to have you back, Jay. Have you gotten over the Seahawks celebrating a Super Bowl win in your stadium?
Yeah. It feels like everybody's moved on already.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be the most relaxed Super Bowl winner I can ever remember.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone care that the Seahawks have won a Super Bowl?
Well, I know Seahawks fans are excited, and
as they should.
The parade did they finish the parade, or is it going on now? I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
I don't. Is it raining up there? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
They deserve some sun for a parade.
It was a real mismatch. I think some of us convinced ourselves. Well, I didn't, but some people, squinted and thought, New England's a good team, right? Nah. I was reading today, Seattle knew they were way better than the Patriots.
Oh, I mean, that day when you're watching the Super Bowl pregame, I think it was on, ESPN. Pretty sure it was a split decision. I think it was 3-2 Seahawks Patriots. It might have been 3-3. A lot of the analysts, I think, kind of tricked them. They overthought it.
Yeah.
When people do that all the time with the draft picks, things like that, they just overthought it a little bit. This is too simple, too straightforward. So let me go with the Patriots, and they look crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I know we were going to get to this later, but since we're talking football, finally it's confirmed. Mac Jones explained that, when he came out of college, Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft him.
He did.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, and I think the argument was just not enough, not a high enough ceiling, not enough upside to be taken third overall.
Shanahan got talked out of it by somebody or somebodies.
That are still with the team?
Some of them are. I'm pretty sure one of them definitely is.
But do we have to pretend like the Mac Jones that we saw this season would have been the Mac Jones that
I have
they
no
would have
idea.
drafted?
Yeah, it's a fair question.
And I don't know.
I don't know. But I remember right after that happened, there was a very prominent 49er broadcaster on the public airwaves, and he said, I think Kyle Shanahan had to get talked into this pick of Trey Lance. And I knew right there, it's like, okay, he just basically told us this Trey Lance was not Kyle's guy.
Yeah.
So that's why when they kind of soured on Trey Lance, they soured all the way.
Right.
Because for the head coach, it's like, he never was my guy.
But how do you give that type of power to somebody like Kyle Shanahan, then in that situation, not trust Kyle Shanahan?
I think he did. I think he finally came around to, you guys are right. All right. I think he got talked out of picking Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
And it probably would have been crazy to have the third pick and take Mac Jones. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
But if you knew the future and you knew where he would have been taken, then you never would have traded those picks anyway. Now we know.
Yeah. Anyway, we got tanking to worry about, Alan. Oh, it's a scourge of the NBA.
Yeah.
Sure, the NBA's been embroiled in a lot of, gambling scandals. And sure, every time you turn a game on, there's at least 3 or 4 or 5 All-Stars that are hurt and can't play. But never mind that. The league's got to do something about tanking. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know what they can do unless they want to try to put mandates on free agents, which would be a crazy thing to do because the word right there is free agent. You can go anywhere you want, but I don't know. If you're going to do that, then you have to give small markets a way to improve that levels the playing field. Because right now, this is the best way to do it. You're not seeing this with the Lakers. You don't see this with the Celtics. Even when they got Tatum, they just were bad. I don't think they were necessarily tanking per se. Philly was an interesting one because it's a fairly big market, but that's what kind of kicked all this off. The Knicks, you don't see this with the Knicks. So it's just these, you don't see it with Miami. It's just these small market teams that they're trying to find a way to compete. And they know, they're worried about getting the main player and doing something with them while they have them before they leave.
Yeah.
Like, people are already talking about, where's Anthony Edwards headed next? They're wasting his time in Minnesota. These people never talk about wasting time in a big market. Like, they could be wasting Luka's time right now, but nobody would ever say that because it's LA. But Giannis, they're wasting his time in Milwaukee. They're wasting what's his time? Their time for what?
Yeah, as much as everyone complains about tanking, I don't know that it's really that big of a problem for the league. I know it's a bad look, but is it really, compared to everything else, is it really holding the league back?
Yeah.
But it is something for the league to rant and rave about. Jay and I think, solved this weeks ago. We just said they need to get rid of the lottery and just have the draft like they used to. The more you flatten the odds to discourage teams, the more you're encouraging everybody who's in those flattened odds to go, oh, okay, we're in this thing now. We might as well tank.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What's interesting this year is the way the Jazz, whom the Kings, of course, play tonight, they have, in the eyes of many experts like Brian Windhorst, they have learned a new way to tank. Windhorst said the Jazz, the way they're tanking, it's more egregious, but still within the rules. And what they're doing, of course, is playing guys, but then fourth quarter, winning time, as Magic used to call it, the Jazz call that tanking time.
Yeah.
They sit their guys down.
Right.
They go, hey, we played.
There's
you can't tell us when to play them.
No, you can't. You can't. There are no guardrails right now. And look, I know the NBA will probably make guardrails, but Whitey, let's pretend to be Adam Silver right now, who Adam Silver, he needs to watch his back. I mean, there's a lot going on. Am I the only person? Because I'm sitting here, and by the way, it's going to be a long week for me, Whitey. My wife is going out of town, so it's daddy daycare for about 4 days straight.
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
Thursday through Monday. It's gonna be rough.
You want Jay to play some violins for you?
I mean, I might need that. But I was double checking, just for my.
You have to look after your own children.
I mean, it's a lot.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
A 2-year-old and a 5-month. This is tough. Happy 5 months to my second daughter, by the way. She just turned 5 months today. It's a lot, Whitey. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, are we going to have any early days? Okay. And the reason I bring this up is because I didn't even realize that All-Star break starts after today.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about All-Star break. There's a tanking issue. There's still people complaining about LeBron and Luka. Nobody played against the Spurs last night. So you still have load management issues.
Yes.
Adam Silver, he's got to put the All-Star break, the All-Star event is a complete disaster. He's got to figure this thing out, man. This is pretty bad right now. Not solely the tanking, but there are a lot of warts in the NBA. And I didn't even mention the flopping.
I think tanking is the least of it, but
I would
it's
agree
something that's
too.
easy for the league to hold up as, this is a big problem. We're addressing it. The bigger problem to me is the fact that, as you said, you watched the game last night. And I know LeBron was managing his load, but there's really good players getting hurt all the time now.
Right, then there's that. Then
Steph Curry's hurt. He's not managing his load.
Right,
He's
there's load
out.
managing, and then
Luka's out.
Now there's an actual injury issue.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I don't know where he even starts. On top of, obviously the collective bargaining agreement, that's with the players and the owners. I get all that, but that has led to a draft pick being even more important because we can't just go out and pay guys or even hold on to guys because of these aprons. It's kind of a disaster.
Yeah, so I understand, as we said, and we all understand why teams like the Kings would prefer not to win all of these games, right? We get it, but you end up with something like this. Imagine if you paid for your ticket tonight to see the Jazz and the Kings, and the Kings are without...
But that's your fault, though, Whitey.
Is it? I mean, depends on when you bought the ticket.
Okay.
Right?
Right. You buy a ticket to Kings Jazz, you better be ready for anything.
The Jazz, let's see, they've ruled out Keontae George and Walker Kessler with what are considered legitimate injuries. Lauri Markkanen originally was scheduled for rest, but they've upgraded him.
Yes.
And I agree with Matt George, who said, that was probably the league going, hey. What?
Yeah.
You're not playing any guys. Sacramento's not playing anybody, and you're going to rest Lauri Markkanen? Now, they do have another game, I think, tomorrow, so you could kind of make a case for him.
They made the call.
I think he's been upgraded.
He'll play the first half.
Yeah. And how many Kings are out tonight?
Was it Levine? Everybody but DeRozan. DeRozan and the youngins. That's it.
Yeah. So that's not a very good product that the poor and good people of Utah who are paying to buy tickets this game are being served tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, they get to see Isaiah Collier, Cody Williams, Filipowski. I mean, the thing is, I saw somebody trying to argue the fact that, yes, what the Jazz are doing is not great, but the other part of it is they have had a lot of young picks that do need more time. Now, that's obviously not why they're doing this, but you could kind of make an argument if you take a step back from just being upset at the point of basketball is to win games and the point of sports is to win the game. If you take a step back and you look at it and you say, this season means nothing to the Jazz. They play their guys that they just traded for in the first half, and then the second half, they play a Cody Williams who they took in the first round, I think top 10 pick.
That was honestly, me and Jay were on him.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really played
He's
well,
starting
but-
to look a little bit better.
Yeah.
You play an Isaiah Collier. You play a Filipowski. These are guys that you think could be a part of your future. So I understand why people are upset, but it's not as if the Jazz are playing two-way guys that are 28 years old that aren't going anywhere.
Bobby Marks, I think what Utah's doing right now is messing around with the integrity of the NBA. The ability to sit players, starters in the fourth quarter, to not call timeouts in the fourth quarter. Orlando won the game on Saturday because Utah basically rested players, backfired on them last night. So I think if you're the league, you're looking at it like, all right, can we do some gimmicks? Can we alter protections, eliminate protections as far as picks, or can we put the hammer down?
This is just the thing. This is the new thing that everyone is the biggest problem in the NBA. I mean, there's a number of problems. I don't know that this is number one. And I
don't think it is.
It's a little ridiculous to me, and I get it. And I see Amid Rock on the chat talking about season ticket holders, and I understand it's not great. And I think the team itself should compensate you in a certain way, whether you're the Jazz or the Kings. That's not me, though. Right? I got nothing to do with that.
Like I said, that's on them. But when they bought their tickets, they probably were hopeful, okay, they're going to try this year, right?
Well, no. Single tickets versus season ticket holders, two different things to me.
Yeah.
If you buy a single ticket to Kings Jazz, good luck.
I hope you got a pretty good
luck.
price on
Good
it.
luck. If you are a season ticket holder, yeah. I mean, it stinks. Some of the games were going to be stinkers anyway. So I understand that part of it. But when I look around, it's just a little bit disingenuous to me that all these people, Bobby Marks and the whole crew, and they do good work. I'm not saying they don't, but we're clutching our pearls over the Utah Jazz. I mean, who cares? Who honestly cares? This is the only way that a team like the Jazz can get better.
I was surprised that Bobby Marks came out with that strong a take on it, too. I wonder,
come
to a
on,
degree,
man.
you've got people working for the network that carries the league games. Maybe that's, you're carrying the league's water a little bit there.
Yeah, maybe, and that's fine. They can, cash out and do what they need to do. But I mean,
Emidrock's faith in you is restored.
Thank you. We
And
met
that's
at
important.
we took a picture. We met at the River Cats game back.
He's from Vallejo,
Yeah, he's my guy.
Yeah.
He's my guy. But
It was a little shaky there for a minute, but you pulled it out.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
true. Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, I just am. People just need to be on something. And now that this is what's happening, Whitey. Giannis didn't get traded. Okay, this thing is a dud right now.
Right now, it's like, what can we talk about?
What can we talk about? NBA Today is getting started. What can we talk about? Okay, we already made fun of the Kings. That was 10 minutes ago. What else can we talk about? You know what? The Jazz. The Jazz are screwing up the NBA. Come on, man.
I wonder if that's really something people get excited about it. Wouldn't it almost be something that drives fans away?
Well, no, I think what they're using is the get off my lawn feeling of, my dad or somebody like that thinking, you play to win the game, this is messed up. On a very basic level, the Jazz are not doing this correctly. But everybody that actually is in the weeds on how you build a winner, a sustainable winner, they know. And if I told my dad, hey, Dad, well,
I was going to ask, what does your dad think of tanking?
My dad don't care.
Oh.
But if I was to tell him, he'd say, well, that's messed up, Alan. You pay your hard-earned money.
Yeah.
You go win the game. Then I would say, okay, well, you know that the Kings aren't very good, right? And what if I told you that this draft class could be the best draft class we've seen since LeBron's year, right? 03, whenever that was. Then he would probably say, well, it sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what literally what he would say.
Right.
He
and
would
also,
switch his tune.
As you first brought up, and we looked closer at it into last week, or maybe it was Monday, you've also got this potentially great draft followed by what right now looks like it might be a really substandard draft.
Right.
Which means it's really important if you're a bad team. You got to hit on this one.
I like what you said there, Whitey, because, again, this is an over-exaggeration to a specific season. There will always be tanking teams, but it is never this egregious. It's because of how good this draft class is. So all of the pearl clutching is a little bit overstated because we know why this is happening. It's the same thing that has replaced the player movement when contracts aren't going to matter anymore. It wasn't an issue, right? It was 3 dudes on one team, and they still kind of do it, but it just went away. Because
Alan, there were people that said when free agency started in pro sports, that's going to be the ruination of pro sports. Some teams will never get players.
Yeah, ever. And, I mean, some teams don't normally get the biggest players, so there was something to that, but you find other ways to get it done. But now, if you are one of the smaller markets, now you can't even get it done that way. So this is very egregious. I understand it, but this is not something I believe we will see year after year after year. And if there is somebody where we see it year after year after year, there will never be more, just like there will never be more than about 10 players that can just wake up one day and say, I want out of my contract. There will never be more, I would say 5 teams that are hardcore tanking. Like a hardcore tanking. And I don't even know if it'll get to 5 year after year. Because look at the Charlotte Hornets. People would have said, if I asked...
Jay's Charlotte Hornets are on fire.
If I asked the casual fan, hey, give me 5 teams that are tanking right now, they'd probably say the Kings, they'd probably say the Wizards, they'd probably say the Nets, and they'd want to say the Hornets, I believe. But then you would look back and say, and they would probably throw the Jazz in. Well, look at it now. The Jazz will compete next season. The Wizards will compete next season. The Hornets aren't tanking. It's the Nets who, I don't know.
Another team that's tanking is the Pacers, and they fully intend, when they get Halliburton back, to be back at it next year.
A lot of these, you know how I was joking about the hybrid one and done? That's probably not going to be the case for the Kings, but that's what it is for a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
Not a hybrid rebuild, but we're just here for, hey, we're not staying.
Although some of these teams, Washington and Utah, they've been at it for a while.
Yes, they have.
They've just decided, all right, it's time to stick our heads back.
Yes, they have.
Above ground.
But this is it, right? This is what everybody said, hey, this is it for us, and then we got to get out of it. And I do think, as everybody is getting upset at the Jazz and things like that, what they are ignoring is the fact that this is still a business, and owners will take care of this themselves. Owners aren't going to let these teams just tank year in and year out because they're losing money. Or they're not making as much money as they feel like they should.
Yeah. So one of the pretty bows that the NBA, I think, is going to put on the All-Star Weekend is we're going to expand. We're going to add 2 more teams.
You think they're going to announce that?
Yes. I think they're going to start playing the 27-28 season. So, there's a lot of talk now. We're having fun. Which Kings would you protect?
Right.
Well, it doesn't matter yet.
Right.
Because it's going to be like a year from now, I would think, when they actually will have to start thinking about that.
You got the Sonics, and who's the other team?
Las Vegas Jacks. Whatever they're going to be called,
The Las Vegas Dice.
Yeah. Maybe not that.
The Las Vegas Rouletters.
And the NBA wants to get in there before your athletics do, and I think they're going to make it.
Probably. I mean, athletics, they're still digging fake dirt? That's what they're doing out there?
Oh, they got lights and they got trucks and
the trucks
piles of dirt.
The trucks don't work.
That thing
They rented the trucks. There's nobody driving.
That thing's looking good. That site
they got
coming along.
They got the Waymo version of the trucks. Nobody's driving the trucks.
Yeah. Jay, there's this crazy thing going on where Mark Cuban, it looks like there's reports that he wants to buy the Mavs again. And it's like, well, what happened? Somebody just bought the Mavs, and people say, well, they wanted to move. The current owners wanted to move the Mavs to Las Vegas. Maybe they'll just take the Las Vegas expansion team. And it all works. We'll see. But that'll be the big announcement, I think, this weekend.
They got to do something.
Feel good. Oh, we're going back to Seattle.
Yeah, they got to do something. It's not great for the NBA, and I've defended the NBA simply because I think a lot of people like to bag on the NBA for various reasons. But they got some issues right now. And I'm looking at you, Adam. You make a nice, pretty penny. You can come on this radio station anytime. I know Carmichael Dave said he sends an email every year to get Adam on the show. Well, Adam, you can come talk to us. We'll be nice. We got you.
Does he?
That's what Dave said.
Oh, he's not doing a good job. No. He must be emailing the wrong people.
He using Yahoo. I don't know what.
Yeah.
You got to get on Gmail.
Yeah, brother. He's still on Hotmail.
Yeah, man.
AOL, bro.
You got the AOL. Come on, man. Yeah. Come on. Using dial-up. I don't know. But, you want to come on this show, Adam, we got you. Because it's bad right now, Whitey. I don't think there's anything that is a huge gash. But it's just about
there's a lot of little things that aren't
cuts.
great.
Yeah.
We didn't mention everything going on with the clips and
that's right.
Aspiration.
And, the trees.
Yeah.
And it's raining outside. The trees, they grow more. There's weeds. It's a lot.
Sure.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah. I didn't quite follow you all the way there, so maybe it's a good time to take just a quick time out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a quick 25, wasn't it?
We'll come right back and look at how many of the NBA's top teams right now. You look at the standings. There's a top team. There's a top team. How many of the top teams tanked to get where they are? We're back with that on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Kohl's gets it. Valentine's Day comes with expectations, grand expectations, telepathic expectations, and heart-shaped everything expectations. Yes, even waffles. Kohl's has gifts that rise to the occasion, from romantic to playful, sparkly to sweet, or all of the above. Plus, get 15% off some of your finds. So go ahead, exceed those Valentine's Day expectations with Kohl's. Select styles, offer ends February 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
It's Carmichael Dave wanting you to join Capital Casino every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. in a safe, friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Coach Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford, letting you know the President's Day Sell-a-thon is on. And with your approved credit, get 0% financing plus 0 down on select new Fords. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford today. FolsomLakeFord.com. Interest accrues from date of purchase.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No. We'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Jeremy Sohan is going to be waived, and I think Alan and I are the only two people other than Jeremy Sohan who really care. At least around here, I think we're the only ones who
I
care.
think a lot of people care. I've been getting some messages.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah. People tagging me because they know, I was talking to my, what did we call them? The Alamoles?
Alamoles, yes. You got your Alamoles.
My Riverwalk folk, and, there was some interest there.
Oh, because they're asking you, hey, do the Kings have interest?
That's right.
And you have to say, oh, no.
I say yes.
To make it sound like you do.
No, I say, wait, what would be a good response to, we're not going to say names, but, the people on social media.
Yeah.
There could be. I believe there could be. So I didn't say yes. I said,
right.
I believe
that's how they
there could
makes
be.
sense.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense. Sounds like, oh, yeah. But really, you're saying, I don't know.
They text me, hey, is there interest with the Kings and Jeremy Sohan? I said, there's a growing belief that there could be some interest.
There you go.
And I didn't say anything.
The Spurs, here's a few more details on it. Again, Alan and I may be the only ones who care. Jay, do you think Alan and I are the only ones in the Sacramento area who care about Jeremy Sohan and a potential Kings future?
I'd add about 3 more people.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And Jay's one of them.
That'd be no.
Jeremy Sohan's probably one of them.
That's right.
Maybe Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, or maybe not. I was going to say Scott Perry. He may not be interested at all.
I mean, I do think it's a good, I don't want to say insurance plan, but.
Well, it's just kind of what you do when you're.
Yeah. You're trying to get younger.
Yeah. It's like, hey, the guy, if he's available, take a flyer. Maybe you find something. The team, Spurs, announced in a press release that Jeremy Sohan has been waived. As Kyle Ledbetter was explaining, that means he would go through waivers, which seems like good news for the Kings because waivers go worst team to best team. You'd have first shot at him, but that would probably put him into the luxury tax, which, as we know, the Kings historically do not do.
No. And, yeah, Kyle was kind of explaining how the DeMar DeRozan money, it's good in some ways. In other ways, it can kind of hinder you because that money is literally is not guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Well, if you place a waiver claim, then that you're picking up the $7.1 million expiring contract.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to find a way.
Yes.
Just
if you go to the luxury tax, it's all right.
Just jump in and jump out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Although it's also possible. Well, if nobody, whoever wrote this says, assuming no team places a waiver claim on the forward, which is probably a safe bet, he'll reach unrestricted free agency. Will have the opportunity to sign outright with any NBA club. So maybe that's a play for the Kings.
So they're saying they don't even think anybody's going to pick him up.
That's right. And I apologize. Who wrote this? Well, it's the great Luke Adams from Hoops Rumors.
Okay.
You can take that to the bank.
Okay. So they're already.
Why are you laughing, Jay?
Great Luke Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just triple checking who that was.
Yeah. L.A.
Okay.
L.A. I mean, the Lakers could use him. They need defense.
Everybody needs defense.
That's right.
Defense in the NBA is kind of like pitching in your sport, you know?
Yeah.
You can never have too much.
Well, I think the whole waiver claim conversation, it's probably more about financials than not believing in what Sohan could be. Everybody's so strapped for cash right now that it probably isn't terribly appealing to them.
Yeah. We've been talking so much about tanking, of course, and I was thinking about it last night because the tank job that the Spurs pulled off, and I'm not saying that disparagingly, it made sense what they did. It has paid off beautifully because Wemby last night in the first half, I mean, I literally was watching that first quarter, and I saw Wembanyama 22. I was like, is that his average for the season? He can't have 22 already. He did.
He did.
It was 37 in the first half.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And he was at 23 points, and there were still 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah.
In the first quarter. And, it's funny that you brought up the Spurs because, people are talking about unethical tanking versus ethical tanking. And I just wish people would
That's not a thing to me, by the way.
Tanking is tanking?
Tanking is tanking.
Yeah. But I just wish people would use context more because the idea, someone said, well, the Spurs, I mean, they just took 2 years and they're back. Okay, well, who do they draft? First of all, they got lucky in the lottery. Then they got the number one prospect of the last, 15 years. I mean, I think Zion would probably be a shout there, but I don't even know if Zion was as big of a prospect as Wembanyama.
No.
So why are we acting like all tanking is equal? It's not. You have now some of it is in your control, sure, but you have the Hawks who draft Risashe. It's a bad year to have number one. That's what it was. We're going to say the same thing to whoever drafts number one in 2027. But you got lucky twice. You got lucky in the lottery, and you got lucky because you were able to draft Wembanyama. Then you got lucky again, and you got another Rookie of the Year in Stephon Castle. Then you got lucky again, and you got the number 2 pick with Dylan Harper, and you also had a number 6 pick. Now, some of that is good business, don't get me wrong, but you're looking for – a lot of these teams, again, Spurs, smaller market, you're tanking until you find a guy. If you find your guy immediately, then you can start to make some other things happen. Okay, we found our guy, so we probably are only in the tank for 1 or 2 more years. I think that the Hornets are still looking for their guy.
Yeah, I would quibble with you where you said the Spurs tank for 2 years. And this is what we're talking about. The teams at the top, we'll look at the top 8 teams, top 4 in each conference. Did they tank to get where they are? The Spurs in 2018-19, they were 48-34. Then the next year they won 32 games, missed the playoffs, 33 games, missed the playoffs, 34 games, missed the playoffs, 22 games, missed the playoffs, 22 games, missed the playoffs, and then 34-48. So they've been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just coming out of the tank. This is year 7, and they're just coming out of it now.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't say it was 2 years. That's what somebody was trying to say.
They did have 2 where they were 22 wins, but a couple years before that, and even a year after, they got Wemby, and it's like, he didn't transform them right away.
No, but they continued to get lucky within, those tanking seasons as well. Yeah. But those years that you're talking about, one of those years, I don't know if Sohan was their first pick in that draft. I think he went 9th or something like that, but he was a top 10 pick and didn't really work out.
Well, like you said, they got some good players, but none of them were the guy.
Yes.
They got Devin Vassell and they got Keldon Johnson. Those are good players. But they didn't get their guy until they got Wemby. In the West, so the Spurs right now are second. They did tank, and it paid off for them. OKC is number 1, of course, at 41-13. We know they tanked. It didn't take them long, just a couple years, really, before they were back to near 500. Houston also tanked. People don't talk about the Rockets tank, but they tanked hard, and they're third right now. And Denver, I don't know if Denver tanked. You got to go way, way back. Once they got Jokic, they were kind of on their way. They've been pretty good for a long time, so if they tanked, it was a long time ago. So I'll say, no, they didn't tank. So that's 3 of the 4 teams in the West. In the East, Detroit, did they tank? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They tanked, and they were
7
also bad.
years, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Boston never really tanked. They've had 2 years in the last 15 or whatever it is where they haven't made the playoffs. The New York Knicks, yep. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers. They, too, after LeBron left, they went through some very tanky years. So I would say, was that 6 of the top 8 teams in the NBA right now, the top 4 in each conference, they tanked to get where they are. So that's why teams do it. It works. It takes a long time sometimes, but it's the best way to get your guy.
Yeah. And again, I think if you're Adam Silver and you're looking at your plate of problems, that to me is like the peas on the side. That is not the ribeye of your problems in my estimation. It's just going to be there. If y'all want to sit there and argue with me about Utah Jazz games, then I just don't really know what we're talking about.
I honestly think part of it is they can't appear to condone it. They know it's not going to change, but the league can't go, oh, well. They have to, oh, no, this is an affront to us. But they know it's like, yeah, there's really nothing we can do.
And out of the egregiousness, I mean, that's why the Kings are so funny, because they actually were trying. They were just bad. So the Kings, they haven't really been doing – people are paying attention to it now, but the Kings weren't really tanking, right? They just stunk. The Pelicans, they can never say healthy, but that's always been the case. The most egregious teams that I've seen have been the Jazz and the Wizards, because the Wizards, they do sit their guys at times, and the Jazz – but the Jazz, we're looking at them differently because they just traded for people. We're not looking at the Nets like that because the Nets just aren't good. So there's really only a couple teams that are doing this in an egregious fashion, and the Kings aren't one of them. They're just bad. Like, they've just been bad. Now it's going.
You think they're not participating they're not actively?
I think their participation just started maybe a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Why they're playing DeMar DeRozan unless you think that playing the vets was helping the tank?
Sorry, I was doing something.
Because they're playing DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook 35 minutes. That's not tanky. That's not, Daquan Plowden and Devin Carter in the fourth quarter. That's not that.
Well, tanking is one way to open your window. Doesn't always work. But in the NFL, some people are saying there are 3 teams who this year, big name franchises who saw that window slam shut. Some say the 49ers are one of them. We'll look at that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hobble, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hobble, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right. Buy it at Hobble.
Okay, guys, who is done with their Valentine's Day shopping? What are you waiting for? Stop putting off your Valentine's Day shopping and go to Prestigio Jewelers today.
She's right. Prestigio Jewelers has everything you need for Valentine's this year. And you're approved guaranteed. No credit, bad credit, even bankruptcy? 6 months proof of income guarantees you a credit line of $400 to $10,000. Time is running out. Make this a Valentine's Day she'll never forget. Visit one of our showrooms today or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Right now, save $16 on a pair of Rain-X Rugged XL wiper blades, plus get 2 times O rewards points only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age.
making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
How far do you hit your 7-iron? The answers will tell you which tees to play, according to Josh Sens in Golf Magazine. Deep down, you know you shouldn't be playing from the tips, but it's common for golfers to play from too far back. Aside from higher scores, rounds become a grind and golf becomes much less fun. After several years of research, the USGA unveiled a new data-driven offering to find the proper tees called Best Tees. If you know how far you hit your 7-iron, Best Tees will tell you which tee boxes to play. A typical male golfer should be playing from 6,100 yards and a typical female golfer from 4,400 yards. Most players have a good idea of their 7-iron distance, with average male's distance of 138 yards and average female's of 100 yards. Throw out the occasional perfect shot, which travels more than those distances, and concentrate on your average. This will allow you to reach the vicinity of most greens in regulation and let you hit a variety of clubs on approach shots. Leave your ego at home and give it a chance. You'll have more fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
What would the internet be? What would X be without Kevin Durant? This is from B-Ball Breakdown. There's video they post. Kevin Durant at the foul line, and then he's talking with LaMelo, and LaMelo is saying something to KD, and KD's laughing. So B-Ball Breakdown says, LaMelo observes that KD, quote, don't pass the ball, end quote, and asks KD to acknowledge this. KD finds it funny. Then Kevin Durant says, I observed that you're wrong. He told the ref that I was passing and I shouldn't be shooting free throws. It's all good, B-Ball Breakdown. We all make mistakes. Kevin Durant.
He's everywhere. He is everywhere.
You don't miss anything.
Hey, no disrespect, but I don't disrespect me.
Yeah, he's everywhere, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I think at this point, people just tag him and stuff, hoping, to get a response and to go viral.
Yeah.
They don't actually believe
He's
in
actually
whatever
kind of
they're saying.
gracious there for him. I mean, it's a little pointed, but,
right.
When he goes full double barrels on you, look out.
Yeah. It used to be when it came to the text line and things like that, it used to be much spicier, but in my older age, I've kind of just let stuff go.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you are just really poking the bear time and time again, then okay. But, just a random thing here or there, because I used to say I was kind of the Kevin Durant of media.
You used to say the text line was yours. I don't remember if that was here or at the other place.
Well, my beloved text line.
Yeah, it's like, I'm the text line guy. It's like, bro, everybody uses the text line.
I never said I was the text line guy.
I'm the text line guy. The text line's mine.
I said that is my beloved text line, because I got to give a shout out to the text line.
Mm-hmm.
And the YouTubers as well. Now we've evolved a little bit now.
Yeah, yeah. We're all evolving all the time. If you're not evolving, you're going the wrong way and you're in trouble, which may be the case with a couple of NFL teams. This is from Gilberto Manzano. 8 lessons we learned during the 2025 NFL season. See what you think of these lessons. He says it was all about defense in 25. He says patience is needed for all types of quarterback situations. Tom Brady got plenty wrong in year 1 with the Raiders. You agree with that, Raider fan?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you got Pete Carroll's son coaching the offensive line. I mean, what's going on, man?
Mm-hmm. Trading for star players was not fruitful. And he talks about Geno and Debo and Laramie Tunsil. NFL teams still don't get it when it comes to hiring coaches. Browns continue to be a flaming mess. AFC South race was surprisingly entertaining. And the final lesson of 2025, Bills, Ravens, and 49ers may have missed their Super Bowl window. What?
I agree.
Whoa.
No. Hold on. I've been on this with the Ravens, though. and Lamar. I thought a couple years ago when the Niners went to the Super Bowl, that was the year when Zay Flowers fumbled at the goal line. That was the year I thought the Ravens could have gotten it done. And, windows, they don't stay open for long. The Bills, I'm getting there because we'll see with this new coach, but this was the year for Josh, and everybody felt like that.
Well, yeah, the feeling here is, according to the piece, those 3 teams have been in the mix for the better part of a decade, but kept running into the Chiefs, who won 3 Super Bowls, made 5 Super Bowl appearances in a 6-year span before missing the playoffs this season. Without the Chiefs in the way, the Bills fell to the Broncos. Ravens missed the postseason. And San Francisco had a surprising run to the divisional round during what was supposed to be a reset year, but got crushed by Seattle in the postseason.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this. It's the worst news that I've actually heard as it pertains to the Niners. And it was floating around, and everybody's doing their media availability, and George Kittle mentioned that some old friends might be rejoining them. And I believe it was with Sports Illustrated. And the host said, "Are you talking about Debo?" Because I don't know. I guess Debo's contract is already up. I'm not sure. And he said, "I love Debo." He did not say it, but he looks at the camera and kind of winks whatever it is. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. If you bring Debo Samuel back, this is now turning into a San Francisco Niner hangout. You're not here to win championships. You are here for a hangout. And the idea, because he said the same thing that we read in the article, this was a reset, rebuild year. Is it really? I know you have some young pieces, but George, you're in your 30s. Now you're coming off the Achilles, okay? Purdy is young, of course, but you don't know what you're doing at the wide receiver position. Christian McCaffrey, you just wasted a really healthy year by him, and you're going to bring back Debo. Now, that could be George Kittle just doing his WWE thing, but to me, the Niners' door doesn't have to be closed. All these 3 teams just have to tweak certain things. I think the Ravens have the biggest issue because you wasted a healthy Derrick Henry season, and he's getting older. And Lamar, I know he's outstanding, but what exactly is it that he needs offensively for the team to produce better? But I would say the Bills and the Niners, they're a couple tweaks away. I think if the Bills, if they go out and they get a true number 1 receiver, I would probably be back on the Bills bandwagon. And the Niners, they got to make some tweaks too. But the Ravens, they're the ones that I really feel like it's closed.
The 49ers now have to deal with the Rams and the Seahawks just to win the division.
That's very true.
Yeah. I think one of their big problems is, they refreshed the defense, but I know Vic Tafur was just writing about this. 49ers got some good players in the draft, and I know we're not sure how good some of them are because some of them got injured, but it's not clear that they have any real playmakers that they landed. And it's early, but, it's possible they didn't. And on the other side of the football, offensively, where are the playmakers right now?
Yeah.
Where are they? And where are you going to get them? Because the ones you have they're really close to their expiration dates.
Yeah, and the young one that you took a chance on, everybody's mad at Ricky Pearsall because he's doing a TikTok dance. Did you see this?
No.
So he's doing a TikTok dance, and people are so upset, Niner fans, saying, the Seahawks got JSN, the Rams got Puka, and we got this. And everyone's saying his knee looks fine there, whatever it was. So
at least he's not a slant merchant, though, right, Alan?
Well, he's not. He's even worse. He can't make the club in the tub. At least Puka's out there. So I don't know. I think the Niners and the Bills, you go out and get a number 1 receiver, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the Niners getting healthy too. That's the other reason I would say maybe their window is more open. It's definitely more open than the Ravens. I think the piece that everybody keeps talking about, saying, hey, well, they're going to be healthier. They're obviously going to be healthier in 2026, 2027. I think the reality is we don't know that. That's what happens when your main
unless you move that power station.
Well, you can't. Power station, you got Fred coming back, but Bosa seems like he's one step above injury prone at this point. He's going to miss time.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys that you have, and even Kittle before the Achilles, he was also always due to miss time. And Brock is, at this point, kind of due to miss time. So you might be healthier than last season, but when is the last time the Niners went on a healthy run? Because if they did, they probably would have already won a Super Bowl.
what do you think of this, Jay? In the last few years, when the 49ers finished the season, I know last year was kind of an outlier because it was a bad year, but it's been pretty apparent what they needed to address. It's like, well, we didn't get all the way because we need to upgrade the offensive line or whatever it is. And it just seems to me like now there's more and more things. It's like, well, you need help at wideout, and we need some playmakers on defense, and we need to stay healthy, and the offensive line is still bad. It seems like there's more things each year that they're having to try to stay ahead of.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say every NFL team faces that, though. I think the NFL is the one roster that overturns so much every single year that compared to basketball and even baseball, you just really don't know what's going to happen as you move forward every single year. I'd say a couple things. I hear what Alan's saying, and I pretty much agree with that. I hear what you're saying, too. I don't think Brock is scheduled to be hurt, and I'm hoping he's not. But I think he's been hurt the last couple of years.
Maybe
if anything, he's already been hurt.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get 1 year where he's not scheduled to be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you guys are spot on in the fact of Baltimore, for me, I'm not exactly sure what they are. Buffalo's defense wasn't as good as everyone thought it was this year, and Josh Allen kind of saved them, and so did James Cook, too. You got to give Cook some love, too, led the league in rushing. The 49ers are a coin flip. The one thing I think that's helping them, and I had to go back and look at it compared to the other two, is San Francisco's going to have somewhere between $38 to $60 million cap room. That's a lot of cap room for a contender, as I air quoted. So I don't really know, but I think they have to, and this was one thing as a 49er fan, fellas, I think the 49ers need to, and I agree with Allen, please don't bring Deebo Samuel back. Got nothing but love for you. Unless it's on a minimum, a vet minimum, which you never see in the NFL. But I think they have some choices and some decisions to make on some of the OGs.
Yes.
They truly do.
Yes.
And for me, once they make a decision on 1 or 2 or 3, Trent Williams' contract probably needs to be restructured, what would save them $15 million, which the Niners normally do, then I'll speak on it. Right now, I think they're just in the middle tier of the NFL.
When we come back, why is everybody sleeping on Cam Boozer, Allen? Why? Everybody, wake up! Next on Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. And more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hobble, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton, Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com. What if the greatest player on the court wasn't who you expected? This February, experience heart, hustle, and a whole new kind of hero in Sony's GOAT, the animated sports adventure for the whole family. Only in theaters February 13th, rated PG.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Kings, if they lose tonight, that would be 14 straight losses. The last time the Kings lost 14 straight games. Do you know what the number one song in the country was? It was a little ditty. Bye, bye, Miss American.
Oh, wow.
Bye. 1972.
Man.
Yeah. January of 1972, when they were the Cincinnati Royals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Royale.
Uh-huh. So if they lose this one, and maybe they prevail tonight, but if they don't, then back home Thursday against Orlando, they would be trying to prevent the longest losing streak in the history of the franchise.
I have a feeling the Kings are going to win tonight.
Do you?
Yeah. Some of it is the frustrations we saw from DeMar. Some of it is I think the Jazz are going to out-tank them. I do. I mean, we're getting to the point now where the thing about the Jazz is they're kind of playing with it a little bit, having guys play and then pulling them out. The Kings, even when Russ and DeMar play, they kind of know what they're getting into every game. I know we randomly saw Daquan Plowden and then we didn't. Well, then we saw them at the end of the game. But, yeah, it feels like the Kings actually know what the plan is night in, night out. Now there's a bunch of guys not playing tonight, which leaves it specifically with the young guns. And the young guns kind of play well together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just think the Jazz are probably going to sit Laurie after the second half. It's definitely in the last quarter. So I think the Kings get it done tonight.
I do think, and I know Matt George said this, but I thought the same thing. I think the league suggested strongly to the Jazz that Lauri Markkanen play tonight.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that somewhere else. That because it was funny because I saw it on Underdog, because Underdog will post just based on people betting and stuff. So Underdog, it was all in like a 30-minute span where they said Lauri Markkanen was out. Or I saw Jason Anderson said it at 4 something. Then later in the 4 o'clock hour, Underdog said, no, Lauri Markkanen is available. And everybody was saying, yeah, they probably got a call. Hey, this is a little bit ridiculous now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was pretty clear.
Now, you are a Daquan Plowden guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Jay actually got him on the show once because I was a Daquan Plowden guy going back to Summer League.
Okay.
But the only time he could come on, I wasn't here.
Okay.
So I'm hoping
We gotta
Jay
get
can
him
work
back.
his magic. We might be able to. Obviously, now he's a lot more busy.
Yeah.
I hit him.
Yeah.
I got some connects, too.
You got connections like Jay?
I don't know what Jay's connections are.
I
okay.
just reach out to him.
Yeah.
You know, but
He's a Philly guy. Ain't nothing but a text message. Hey, DQ, what's up?
that's right.
Or his
Come on.
agent, too.
That's
Yeah.
I got.
So we'll work on that.
That's
We'll see
right.
if we
Please.
can,
Please do.
He's actually playing.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we talked to him on Media Day as well.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So he's my guy.
When it comes to the upcoming draft, which of course we're talking about a lot, and we're going to be talking about even more from the Kings' standpoint, I think the Kings are still in on DeBonsa. I think he's still their guy. I know Matt George suggested that a few weeks ago. And I'll tell you why I think that. I'll just, full disclosure. You know, Dave has, so speaking of connections, he has some connections. So when I heard Dave this morning saying, yeah, DeBonsa, I really like him. I think he's the guy. That tells me that someone has told him that that's the guy the Kings want.
Yes.
That's who the Kings want to pick.
Right.
And then he goes, yeah, I told you.
Right.
I know I could be wrong. Maybe that's just his opinion. But I still reading between the lines here, and maybe I'm not seeing it clearly, but I still think he is their guy. So I don't think the Kings are going to pick Darren Peterson. If they get the first pick, they won't take him, I don't think. And if they don't get the first pick, he's probably already going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So Kings fans are going back and forth on Peterson or DeBonsa. I think DeBonsa he has more support from fans, but nobody is thinking, ooh, Cam Boozer's the guy. Mm-hmm. Why is everyone sleeping on Cam Boozer? He's not a bad player.
No, he's not. But, I mean, he's
a consensus top 3 player in this draft.
Yeah, it's funny because you watch highlights, right? I didn't get to catch the full Duke game last night, but you watch
Would you like
highlights.
to know how he did? I can tell you right now.
But I heard.
He had 17 points,
right.
6 and 9 from the floor, and he had 10 rebounds, and he had 4 assists.
This is what is, I think, worrisome to some people. You're watching highlights. They show one Cam Boozer highlight. It's him making a 3. Then at the end of the game, they say that he had 17 points, whatever it is, which tells me that these were kind of within the game type of buckets. And you know what's funny? You talk about bad PR. Now Cam Boozer gets shorter every week. This week, Cam Boozer's 6'5" now. When this started, he was 6'9". Now and I think they were just having fun, but he keeps getting shorter. He keeps getting less athletic.
He's the opposite of Keon Ellis.
Literally.
He went from 6'2" to like 6'7".
Yes. He's like Benjamin Button. I don't know what's going on. And a lot of people now are a bit worried because, like I said, 17 points. And I know it's just SportsCenter, and obviously they're going to have the highlights, but I worry, they're points that he's getting based off of his size and athleticism in the college ranks. The buckets that he's getting, there's no problem with Cam Boozer. But again, you're the one that kept saying that you need the guy. I don't know how you can watch Cam Boozer and think he's going to be the guy.
I think he's more comfortable playing off ball a little bit, which is, big pictures like, oh, it's good that a player can fit in like that. But to your point, I think fans are looking for the guy that's going to be ball dominant and lead you, and he isn't always that. That doesn't mean he's not capable of that, though. I'm not saying, oh, he should be the Kings' target. What I'm saying is, if they do end up, let's say they get the 3rd pick, and he's, DeBonce's gone and Peterson's gone, and they get Cam Boozer, I think that's going to be a really good pick, all things considered.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I don't think they would take Cam Boozer. And I said this to the Digital Boys a couple days ago.
Who would they take? A point guard?
Based on what we've seen from Debanza, if you can't get Debanza, who looks the most like Debanza?
See, I don't think they're necessarily looking at it that way. You may be right, but I think that'd be a foolish way. If you want DeBonza, it's because you love DeBonza, not because you have a type. To me, that wouldn't be prudent, and it wouldn't be opportunistic. Now, I don't know. That's just my opinion. You may be 100% right. So you're thinking Caleb Wilson?
Exactly. If they can't get Debanza, they will get Caleb Wilson. That's how I see it, because I see some similarities there.
Really? I was going to say, I mean, they play the same position.
I see some similarities there.
DeBonza's really unique.
Yeah. Well, he's DeBonza. But if you're asking me who has a higher ceiling, Caleb Wilson or Cam Boozer, I'm saying Caleb. So that's why I would do it. Or that's why I would think they would do it.
If I was not going to take Cam Boozer and I had the 3rd pick, I think I might go Kingston Flemings. I love Kingston Flemings.
I know you do, but I don't know. I can't see them taking, like I said, this isn't about a type as much as it is about the type in the NBA right now. And you better be real sure. I will say we're not going to get to see him tonight, but Keontae George is a guy that has kind of brought back the idea of getting a guard, right, early in the draft, because if you hit on a Keontae George type of player,
I like him a lot.
A lot of people are saying, okay, well, that's part of the reason the Jazz decided we can leave the tank now because we have some guys. So I think that's opened it up a little bit. But, yeah, if you're going to take a guard, if you're going to take somebody under 6'6", they better be an absolute stud muffin.
Well, yeah, and I know that even people who do this for a living, who scout these guys for a living, who see every game, who talk to them, who live, breathe, and eat this for a living, none of them know for sure, who's going to pan out, how good they're going to be. I'm just saying we shouldn't sleep on Cam Boozer. I think a lot of fans are just assuming, yeah, he ain't it. He's a really, really
he's boring.
Outstanding prospect.
He's boring. That's what people are falling for. Maybe that's what I'm falling for. But, yeah, he's not very fun to watch compared to the other guys.
These are just numbers, so this can be misleading, but I'm just showing Alan here at tankathon.com. You can check this. I'm sure you've checked it, Alan. They have for each player their stat strengths, and this is based on what they've done this year. Some of that may not translate to the NBA, and stat weaknesses. For Boozer, they've got all these things are strengths. What is this, about 22 categories? The only stat weakness for him is he doesn't block a lot of shots.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's dominant in most of these categories. So
we've seen good college players before.
Mm-hmm.
It's confusing.
Is some of it the Duke thing? Because I know some people have an
it's not for me.
Anti-Duke bias.
No, if you put Debanza in a Duke jersey, I wouldn't have any different feelings. It's literally, are you going to take over a game for me, right? And I don't know. He honestly reminds me of, I don't want to say he reminds me of Sabonis, but the idea of he's getting his points when they come to him, which is good. You're a good teammate. That's not what the Kings need.
Do you see him in some ways? This is not my comparison. I read this somewhere, and I know they're not the same position, and Boozer's not the shooter, but I read some compare him in some ways to Cat.
I don't see that either.
Okay.
And Cat's 7-footer.
Yeah, I know. But the comparison in the sense that I read it was, Cat sometimes does not insist on dominating the action.
I don't see the game. I don't see how they play offense the same way at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I guess I understand it, but I don't.
It was kind of a critique, so I was just looking to see if that was maybe it was like, yeah, he's just kind of sometimes you're not sure he's there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
compared to the other guys.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and I think a lot of people feel the way you do. If it's not DeBonta, not Peterson, it's like, skip to Wilson or somebody not interested in Cam Boozer.
No, it's
that's what I don't quite get.
What is it that you're seeing with Cam Boozer that you don't think others are seeing?
I'm not sure. I think it must be, and I'm not saying he is athletic. I think you're right. That's why a lot of people are out on him. But he's consistent. He's skilled. Mm-hmm. He's very good at a number of things. He's somebody that just solidifies everything you're doing. He's a good rebounder, a good defender, really good post player. His shooting is surprisingly strong. I know there's some numbers that project him to be about a 35% three-point shooter in the NBA. I don't know how reliable that is, but that's not bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing the downside. That's the thing. A lot of people are like, and I'm saying, okay, why not? All right, if you like DeBonta more, Peterson more, I get that. But for some of it, there's people like, I don't like him, and that's what I don't see. Why not?
But how can you say that the Kings need to find the guy, but in the same breath, say they should take Cam Boozer?
Well, I said they should take him if the other two are gone.
Right.
And I think he has a better chance of being a guy than – I also said I'd have to look at Kingston Flemings.
Kingston?
He's really a good player, and he has a chance to be – we had this bet already, and I know you were talking about him. I bet you that all the top three are going to be all-stars, right? And I think that was the one that you're saying you don't think he will be.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, look, he just jumped out of nowhere. Right, and now you're trying to put him in the top three. I don't know how
he's already in the top three.
I don't know how you've jumped him over Caleb Wilson.
I didn't. He's been there in mocks all season long. That's not my doing, and it's not my opinion. This particular, and there are many, many different ones. So Tankathon is just convenient to check because they have all the the standings and everything, and the race for the worst place. But they have Boozer second, and they have your guy Caleb Wilson fifth. Now, those are all, again, those top 5, 6, 7 are going to be really good, maybe great players. But that's not me putting him at number 2.
And he was a 5-star guy. It wasn't like he crept in there. I mean, this dude was highly rated, top 5 guy coming into college.
Who, Kingston?
Yes.
We're talking about Kingston.
Yeah.
Then go get him. Go get him. Just not Boozer.
Mm-hmm.
What's it? Why not Boozer for you, for Allen?
Because
and a lot of people feel
I
don't want you to feel like we're coming after you.
I've continued to say this.
Don't worry about it.
This is what I said.
Good cop, bad cop.
If it's the Pacers, you can go get Boozer because
Mm-hmm.
you got Pascal, you got Halliburton, you got Zubac, but the Kings cannot take Boozer because Boozer to me is a ground roll double, solid.
Yep.
But you got to swing for we just talked about it. And Jay, you remember this? I was talking to Whitey about back in the day. There were a couple types of hitters, right? Whether you react or whether you guess. And, lead off 2-hitter like me, I react. But nowadays, everybody throwing 100 miles per hour, I think they're all guessing.
You have to.
Okay? Boozer, to me, that's a react. That's a doubles guy.
I'll give you an example of how that thinking has gone wrong. And it's different players, so it doesn't mean you're wrong, but here's how it can go wrong. And I know we're going to talk about the piece that Anthony Slater wrote about Jonathan Kaminga. So the Warriors are staring at that draft, and the basketball people, I don't know if it's because they listened to me on this or not. Probably not. Maybe some of it. They're like, Franz Wagner's a guy. And at the time, Franz Wagner actually became a better pro than he was a college player. So that was hard to anticipate. So the basketball people were like, Franz Wagner would be a good fit. The owner was like, yeah, but Kaminga, tremendous upside. And
so you calling me Joe Lacob?
Yes. And they did the same thing when it was, hey, do we take Halliburton, someone like that? Oh, we got to swing for the fences. We got to take Wiseman. And that's how that doesn't mean that would also happen here, but that can be a very dangerous way to think.
I'll give you another one. We were just talking about it. Now, I'm not sure if they should have still taken Mac Jones, but that was a Trey Lance thing. Trey Lance, higher ceiling, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is some of the other names that we've talked about when I bring up Trey Lance, obviously, it was FCS or D1 AA, whatever it was, we're watching all these guys perform at the highest level. DeBanza, so we're eliminating for this conversation Darren Peterson and DeBanza, right? It's everybody else. Those guys are off the board. To me, you're on Duke. It's an incredible squad. You're kind of fitting in when you need to fit in. You're about to come to Sacramento. And everybody's going to be looking at you as the savior. He's not really the savior on Duke.
Is this because Marvin Bagley didn't work out? And
I'm telling you, it's not.
You said no, but
Going into the season, I was all about Cam Boozer, just based on name. I saw him.
I remember
and
that.
His brother,
I remember last year listening to you.
The good Boozer.
Yeah,
I joke about the good Boozer.
The other one.
But now that I have watched more college ball, it's just something that I think the Kings need to take a swing on. Now, you can get Cam Boozer, to your point, but you might be in the draft next season still looking for your guy.
Here's where I think we really disagree. To me, if you're picking third and the other two are gone, DeBonce's gone and Peterson's gone, to me it's like Boozer's the guy, and I think you'd be. And I think a lot of people, if not most fans listening, would be with you. They'd be like, nah, not Boozer. But I think, man, if you get the third pick, you get Boozer, that's a win. He's going to be a really, really good player.
Okay.
He's going to be the guy? He might be.
You're going to be looking for you're going to be back in the draft next season looking for your guy. That's you have a higher. Now you could with Caleb Wilson, with any of these guys.
I think Cam Boozer has as good, if not a better chance than anybody else. Kingston Fleming's again, I'm not sure of, but he has as good, if not a better chance than any of the other forwards to be a guy in the NBA.
Right. Out of the non-Debanza and Darren Peterson conversation.
Is it, for me, and if I'm hearing you correctly, Alan, he's not the sexy pick, right? And I get it. But this is where I disagree with it is, and I agree with you on this part of it, Alan, is to me, Cam doesn't factor out to be a superstar.
Right.
But I think he's Brandon Ingram. I think he's his father. I think he's a 4-time, 5-time, multiple-time All-Star. Pascal Siakam never will be the guy, but he will be a multiple, All-Star, fringe Hall of Famer type caliber guy.
Right.
I think if I'm hearing you right, Alan, you're looking for the savior. You're looking for the Anthony Edwards, the LeBron James, that type of caliber person, Luka Doncic. And to you, Cam Boozer is not that guy.
Yeah, if this was 2027, I'd probably be more willing to go with the 2027 Cam Boozer pick, because it seems like there are a lot of stinkers in that draft class.
Mm-hmm.
But in this draft class, when it seems like it's going to be riddled with stars, I would rather swing on more upside and just see what happens. But if it was a different draft class, then I probably would go more with the safe bet. Now, you can go with Cam, but you just have to realize that you might have to build your team a different way. We bring up the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton is the most, fascinating superstar there is, because I know he was balling out in Game 7, but there are games where, he's not going to ball out and score 35 points, right? He might have a bunch of assists, but he's a very unique superstar. And I don't know, if we were to poll the NBA, would you say you have a quote-unquote guy in Tyrese Halliburton? It's very just unique how he plays. So if you look at how the Pacers built what they have, you have a very unique star in Tyrese Halliburton, not your traditional guy. Mm-hmm. You got Pascal Siakam,
who's Cam Boozer,
a great number 2. Yes, exactly.
Right.
So if that's possibly his ceiling, you're going to have to build your team a different way, or maybe that's at that point you go trade for somebody that you feel like is more established. You can do that. It just feels like when I watch Cam Boozer, he doesn't pop.
Mm-hmm.
And in this season, this draft class, I'm looking for the pop. And I watched Caleb Wilson on Saturday, and he got a hand in his face. He on the base, pop. I'll tell you, Jay, that's what I need.
I'm with you. I've been the one that's consistently said you got to find that guy. I've said it, man, I don't care if you got to trade 10 picks. If Anthony Edwards is out there and it takes 10 picks, then you trade 10 picks. And I start to build on around him. Mm-hmm. I get you. I think I'm in the boat with you with Boozer, but I'm also on the form of you can, and if I'm hearing you right, Whitey, you can swing for Kingston Fleming and know that you're going to have a 5-time All-Star there in Cam Boozer, and Kingston Fleming might just fizzle out.
Yeah,
sure.
So it's kind of, do you want a multiple, like Cam Boozer to me, of all these people, even Darren Peterson, even AJ, I'm a big AJ guy, I think Cam Boozer is the safest pick of everybody. Yeah. I think he's going to be in 5 All-Star games. He's going to put up 20. He's going to put up 10. But as you said, Alan, he'll never be the one to win a championship by himself.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we still have to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Yeah.
I think he has more potential for that than you do. But I admit, so far we haven't seen much of that. Looking at the standings here, have you ever heard of the 40-20 rule? This is Phil Jackson's 40-20 rule.
I think so.
Yeah, Phil Jackson said, and I don't think he said it recently, but he said, you're not a contender in the NBA unless you win 40 before you lose 20.
Okay.
In most years, that's actually been true. There have been some exceptions, but most years it's actually been true.
Says the person who had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaq, and Kobe, and everybody else. All right.
Yeah, so right now the only team that's done that is Oklahoma City. They're 41-13. But people are talking about it because a team that some consider a contender last night lost their 20th before they won their 40th, and that's the Knicks. The Knicks are now 34-20, so a lot of people in New York, of course, Phil Jackson was there for a long time as a player and as a GM. People saying, by Phil's rule, the Knicks are not a title contender. I think we probably knew they weren't already, didn't we?
The Knicks?
The Knicks, not a title contender.
I did not. That's news to me.
Okay. So you still think they're potentially a contender?
I think that this rule probably makes more sense if it's a normal year and Jason Tatum, who I just saw was playing 5-on-5 recently. So he's on his way back. I don't know when he's actually going to be back, but I think in a normal season with a healthy Pacers team and a healthy Celtics team, you're probably right. But in this situation, with the East a bit weak, the Magic just haven't taken that. By the way, I want to spend some time on the Magic before the week is over because it helps my hybrid rebuild argument. Just want to put that
They're going to
out
be here Thursday.
Oh, I told you.
Yeah.
Even better. See, I knew that.
That's next Thursday.
Yeah, I told you it's next Thursday, not this one.
Yeah.
So now we know.
Take us to give away.
But
another thing I look at is your road record. Mm-hmm. The best teams, the championship caliber teams, they win more games on the road than they lose, which is hard to do in the NBA. The Knicks right now, they're 12-13.
I don't know. I think it is confusing watching them when people say they got this electric offense, and then I watch and I'm thinking it still seems like, you know what it reminds me of? We were just talking about them. Remember when the Ravens brought in that new offensive coordinator and it was supposed to change how the Ravens did business and their offense, and Lamar is going to be in a completely different spot and it's going to help. And he ran less. I think he might have won an MVP. Or that's the season that Josh Allen won it. He ran less, but everybody still felt as if this looks the same to me. You still don't have a big receiver. It's Zay Flowers running around. That's what the Knicks are. Everyone keeps telling me the Knicks are different now with this new offense, but when I watch them and they're on a decent bit, it still seems very heliocentric to me around Jalen Brunson. So I don't know what's different.
I know they have talked, at least early in the year, some of the players talked about how they were having a hard time adjusting to some of Coach Brown's new philosophies. Road records, top teams in the East: Detroit, 17-7. Boston, 17-10. Cleveland, 16-10. Raptors, 16-10. Sixers, 15-10. Knicks, 12-13.
One of those losses, no Brunson. They lost to the Kings. That doesn't count.
That should count double. That should count double.
No Brunson.
Kings, by the way, away from home are...
Don't. How bad?
3-24.
Man. You know, they just want other fans to have a good time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
very
right.
nice of them.
Yes. When we come back, we've got some more details on the Kings summer pitch to he who shall not be named. Alan's going to get giddy because we get to talk about his favorite flair coming up on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Granger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
The President's Day Sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford. And with your approved credit, get 0 down, no finance rates, plus huge factory incentives on select new Fords. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford. Tell them Coach Christie sent you. See dealer for details.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
The Sacramento Kings are bringing fans one of the best ticket deals of the season. Now through February 16th, get tickets to any Kings game with no fees. Catch must-see matchups against the Warriors, Spurs, Bulls, and more, plus fun theme nights like Girls Night Out, Y2K Night, and Slamson's birthday. And you won't want to miss your chance to see your favorite Kings players take the court, like exciting rookies Maxime Reynaud and Neat Clifford. Head to kings.com/no fees today and grab tickets to any game with no added fees.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Trust. It's the foundation of every business. With Better Business Bureau, you connect to a network of trusted partners who help you grow and improve your visibility. BBB accreditation signals to your customers that you value honesty and reliability. Show your commitment to integrity and excellence. Join a community that's dedicated to helping businesses thrive. Take the next step for your business. Join today. Visit bbb.org and discover how Better Business Bureau can help your business thrive.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Kings and the Jazz tonight. Some Kings and I guess more Jazz than Kings tonight, right? More Jazz than Kings.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes,
a lot
literally.
of Kings are not going to be able to play.
Right. I do wonder, do you think they still make the call if the league allegedly made that call? Do they make the call if it wasn't at home for the Jazz? Was that just kind of salt in the wound when Adam calls them up saying, hey, you're already doing this?
I bet you
ridiculous.
Adam doesn't do it. I don't know who does
I
it.
know, but I'm just saying a version of Adam saying,
yeah.
hey, it's one thing to do it. You definitely can't rest him at home. Cannot rest him at home. That's a problem.
You know, they have another game tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it at home again?
Yeah, I believe it is. So,
I think to your point, it's the hot thing right now. So it just was it just have a feel.
Yeah.
Right? Fake one game. Even if you're the Jazz, if you had, and I don't know who they play tomorrow, but
Portland, I believe.
If you had, okay, the Blazers, if you had done it on the back end, but the very next game, that's 3 games in a row, you're just kind of playing with people, and it's the number one thing they're talking about.
Right.
They probably should have just said, hey, just play the front end. And then
or
we'll
they might have said, play the back-to-back because then you get a week off. So
yeah, that's another point. Yeah.
Here's the latest on Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan today was waived by the Spurs. So that would mean he would go through waivers. The Kings would have the first shot at him. But it looks like everything that's being written here is operating with the assumption that no one is going to make a waiver claim, which would make him then a free agent.
That's good news.
Is it?
Yes. The Sohan narrative lives for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not over yet, people. We're just getting started.
Sohan is expected to decide among multiple interested teams.
Yes.
After both sides worked through trade talks at the deadline that did not materialize a deal. He was, as you said, the 9th pick, 2022.
I know my guy.
He has played more than 5 minutes in a game just twice since January 7th. He's exactly the type of player that a team like the Kings would be prudent and opportunistic to bring in if they could.
Bzz, bzz. You know what that is?
Somebody's phone ringing.
My phone's going off. The sources are talking, Whitey.
Oh, Sittery looking for information, huh?
Yeah, they come to me. They come to me for the info. I can't wait for this.
I don't know that there's going to be anything to wait for. I hope you're right. Sohan said, I'm not going to lie to you and say it was rainbows and sunshine all day. There's been moments where it's very hard. I've been in the league for 4 years. This is kind of the first time where this has happened to me. I can think of all the excuses, why, and the reasons, but at the end of the day, it's important for me to remember who I am. A guy with still a reputation as being a good defender. They played him for some reason at point guard, and then they just continued to play him at point guard. And he's fallen out of the rotation due in part to the emergence, as ESPN, of Carter Bryant, who was drafted number 14 in 2025. Sohan provided lockdown defense for the Spurs when called upon.
Yeah, because early on, I mean, Carter Bryant wasn't getting a lot of time, but I think they must have swapped it out and said, again, this is what happens when you're the Spurs and you tank properly and you get lucky and you have a bunch of top 10 picks on your roster. You got too many top 10 picks that all of them cannot get time to develop. So your 9th pick has to go because, I looked under my couch and I found this sixth pick of the draft, so we might as well play you. You're even younger than Sohan, and that's where they're at.
Yeah. Carter Bryant, by the way, is connected on 40% from deep in his past couple of games. But, yeah, Jeremy Sohan's a guy, who can defend. Everyone knows that. So that's going to be a valuable commodity. There's going to be teams that come a-calling. I don't know if the Kings will be able to compete with those other teams.
Depends on the situation. I'm more optimistic than you simply because I know that players care about playing time. And, I brought up there were a decent amount of teams, but, the Pelicans and I mentioned the Grizzlies.
You mentioned the Suns.
The Suns, that they're a good one. They're a solid one because I don't know what happened. Remember when this is how dry it was in Phoenix, no pun intended. Ryan Dunn was supposed to be their guy. He's coming off the bench, and they're good. They're playing better than they thought. So yeah, maybe they're thinking, hey, well, Ryan Dunn is not even looking untouchable right now. We are either going to trade him for picks or we're just going to bring in Sohan as well. But, yeah, definitely a couple teams, I guess you're right, that he could get playing time on. And I don't know how the Suns are viewed as a better organization or better situation than the Kings. I mean, they're in the playoff race now, but
I think it would be great for the Kings if they were able to get him. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's much of a chance they will.
I think the Suns are interesting because they got Devin Booker and they are having a really good season. But if you look at the Grizzlies and everyone just throws out the Nets and the Wizards, I think the Kings would have a chance. But if the Suns are interested, that seems like a perfect situation. If I'm Sohan, I get to play competitive ball and get my playing time.
Yeah, to show teams what you can do.
I'm going to the
Meanwhile,
Suns.
our friend, Alan's former classmate, Anthony Slater, kind of wrapped up the whole Kaminga Warrior saga today at ESPN.com. Here's what he wrote about Kaminga and the Kings. This might be a little more detailed than we had, but I think we essentially knew this happened. Last summer, Turner, and that's Kaminga's agent, Turner and Kaminga found sign-and-trade opportunities with the Kings and Suns. Kaminga got on a video call with Scott Perry and Doug Christie. They pitched him on a feature role and 30-plus minutes a game, preaching the type of belief and growth opportunity he craved. And it sounds like he liked that. The Warriors balked at the available returns, showing no interest in Malik Monk, Royce O'Neal, or Grayson Allen, plus minor draft capital. One of the common retorts, according to league sources, Lacob would never agree to a trade involving Kaminga.
Well, what, to the bitter end?
Just he was not going to trade his guy.
Until they had to.
Yeah.
To the very, very end.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm looking here, and I know he's not healthy right now, but is he playing over Sachet? Or what? Do we know? Is he going to get 35 minutes a night?
Sachet just got picked for
He did, the Rising Stars.
Alternate in the Rising Stars, yeah.
But Sachet, Asa Newell, Onyeka Okongwu, obviously he's not a guard, Kaminga. Corey Kispert is playing 31 minutes.
Kaminga's been hurt a lot this year for a guy who never plays.
Yeah, that's a great point. Guille got 19 minutes. Jock Landale got 18. Are we sure Gabe Vincent got 19 minutes? Are we sure that Kaminga's just going to get all this run in Atlanta? Are we positive about that?
I don't know. Kaminga's teammates backed him publicly to the end, according to Anthony Slater, but expressed their annoyances about the never-ending nature of the saga. Welcome to the club. Get in line.
Yeah. Are you going to read off the part about the food?
Go ahead.
Because that's the part.
This is the thing that's getting aggregated and making it onto social media.
Yes.
And when you read the whole piece, it's really not that big.
It's still funny, though.
Okay.
It's still ridiculous, though.
Please read it, and then please tell me what the significance of it is.
Okay. So
Have you heard this, Jay? Yeah, Jay heard it.
Okay, so basically, there were some around Jonathan Kaminga was reportedly taking too much food from the Warriors' family room. Quote, he knew management wanted to ding him for missing a team-requested event and alert him that someone around him was taking too much food from the family room.
I didn't think I'd laugh at that, but
the gripes between player and organization, as multiple sources said, had become petty in the 5th year of a relationship many believe should have ended years before. So somebody was taking too many ham sandwiches. Who reported that? Who reported that? How much money are the Warriors worth? Like, you can't let that get out. And I know Anthony Slater very well connected. I cannot see somebody from the Warriors saying this to Anthony.
Yeah.
Why would that makes them look bad? They're worth $1 billion, more than $1 billion.
Maybe it made its way to Kaminga's camp, and he actually got it from Kaminga's camp. Maybe Kaminga's camp.
I definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
By the way, here's the bottom line on all of this.
Too much food.
A team source said this, and this is something that Kings fans know all too well. Quote, let your basketball people make basketball decisions. End quote.
Yep.
It's according to a team source who basically is saying this whole thing started because basketball ops wanted to go one way, ownership wanted to go another way. They, of course, went that way, and it did nothing but cause problems for years.
Yep. And it cost you extra ham and cheese sandwiches in the process. Come on, man.
Warriors got, well, I know for the media anyway, they got a really good spread, so I can't imagine.
It's hard to say no.
Yeah, for the players, it must have been pretty good.
What's the etiquette on that? I mean,
the
how
etiquette
much is too
if
much?
it's a player and if it's family or something, it's like they can take what they want.
Yeah, how much is too much?
Isn't
man?
that right, Jay?
Pretty much.
You can't.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, you can't say anything about that.
Put sandwiches under their sweatshirt.
Come on,
thinking
man.
that they get away without
It's so funny because there's
noticed?
two sides of it. It's you're a millionaire, so why are you taking this food if you don't necessarily you're taking food home to eat later? But on
they
the other
all
side,
do.
But on the other side, you're a $1 billion business. Why do you care? So it's obviously more on the Warriors side.
Petty.
It's petty.
It's petty.
And I think that's why it's in. I think that's why Slate's put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
It just illustrates how petty this whole thing had become on both sides.
Right. Now, if you go to your friend's house and you start packing up food before everybody eats,
right,
that's a bad look unless my friend is a billionaire.
Someone around him was taking too much food from the family room.
That's all that pinpointed is that is his manager or one of his boys.
Yeah.
That's around him.
Yeah.
Truly it is. And we've been, all three of us and plenty of people have been blessed to be in family rooms, media rooms, all those different types of rooms. There's so much food.
There's so much food.
There's so many different things that are perks.
That's why I'm guessing it was his agent.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't his agent.
It wasn't?
I don't think it was his agent.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah?
When we go to a Kings game and they got something I like, if there's some Asian food or some fried rice, I'm going back for seconds. And I might go back for thirds. And they keep bringing it out anyway.
Sometimes you can tell what they're going to serve depending on what they're observing on a given night. And that's true.
I'm not
that's true.
I'm not.
You know that. Is it true?
It's true.
Even
I don't mind saying it. It's true.
I'll tell you this. Black History Month.
Yeah.
You could probably guess what could be there.
What are we guessing, Alan? What are you guessing?
You're the one that decided to go there.
You started it.
What are you guessing?
I'm just saying.
Because I haven't seen none of that. No,
it's real.
I haven't seen any of that
seen this
at the
door?
GOT.
And you said, "Yeah, watch this."
But I got seconds. They made more of whatever it was.
When we come back, more on Tank Talk and the Jazz, and you have an Allen-ology for us, which is one of Allen's analogies.
I'm so glad.
Allen-ology?
Yeah, I'm so glad we started this conversation because when we get back, it's right up the alley. I can't wait to hear what you and Jay have to say about this.
All right, we've got an Allen-ology coming up next on Sactown Sports. Yay!
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision-making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hobble, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hobble, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobbledodge.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, real talk. Valentine's Day is almost here, and time is running out. But you're covered at Gazzetta Jewelers. Personalized service, incredible craftsmanship, and people who help you get it right. From classic diamonds to one-of-a-kind custom pieces. Find something she'll never forget. Shop in-store or fast and easy at GazettaJewelers.com. This Valentine's Day, don't forget your sweetheart. Gazzetta Jewelers, because love deserves the effort. GazettaJewelers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Many driving ranges have turned to hitting mats, with many of them using mats year-round. But according to Golf Top 100 teacher Martin Chuck, hitting off mats can give you a false sense of security, giving you the impression that you're a decent ball striker. There are a couple of ways to make sure you get the most out of your practice, and he shares them in Golf Magazine. First, approach the ball with purpose. Treat every shot like you would on the course. Stand behind the ball and visualize what you want the ball to do. Then walk in and go through the same routine you use during a round on the golf course. Second, try the towel drill. To make certain you aren't skipping the club head into the ball, place the towel a few inches behind the ball and try not to hit the towel on the downswing. This will help promote ball first contact. If you disturb the towel, then you know you're hitting the ground too early. Ball first contact is imperative. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Top of the hour, Dan Favali is going to join us. What do you call him? Favali?
No, Dan Favali. That's
how does he call him, Jay? Favali?
Favali.
No, that's not. One time I said Favali.
Valley.
Favali.
Dan Favali is going to join us from Bleacher Report. Before we get to Alan's analogy, the Alan analogy of the day, we were just talking about this story in ESPN from Anthony Slater about Jonathan Kaminga and how things just got sideways very early and never recovered between Jonathan Kaminga and the Warriors. And one of the things that people are talking about in the story today is how the Warriors had an issue that someone around Kaminga was taking too much food from the family room. So we were trying to figure out if it might be the agent. And we think it might have been, right, Alan, based on what was just posted?
Yeah, so this was posted, and his agent, Aaron Turner, says...
Just recently? Like
this was 3/16.
Okay.
Okay, 3/16. So he says he tags Anthony Slater, and I think these are Kaminga's, maybe his brother's nicknames. He goes, at Anthony Slater, man, IG and Ant, those grilled chicken burritos they make at Chase are really dang good. Should have realized the Warriors were running short on food.
There you go, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm for all the shenanigans. Because I've consistently said the Warriors have messed this situation up so bad. And even though it's over, I still love the few jabs, the pokes. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
For who?
The Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaminga in his camp, it is what it is, But I don't know. When you go to his page, I don't really know how many players he represents, but he's retweeting a lot of different players like Tumani Kamara, things like that. But obviously Kaminga it seems like I don't know about his biggest client, but his most important client. So, he's doing what he needs to do to protect his guy and having fun at the expense of the Warriors. But it's obviously the Warriors. You still have Steph on this squad, and you wasted so much time. So much time.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to waste any more time, Alan. We're going to get right to your Alanalogy.
Yes.
Of the day.
Let's do it. So, I saw this a couple weeks ago, and it reminded me of.
Do you need any music for this, by the way?
Maybe eventually. Maybe eventually, but not now. So I saw this a couple weeks ago, and it reminded me slightly of the Jazz and the Jazz tanking situation. So obviously the Jazz, they made this trade, but they traded for Jaren Jackson and others. But that's not really to help them right now, right? That's more so for the future, next season. They want to take care of their business this season, hopefully get a top 3 pick, and then next season really get after it.
Yeah.
But everybody is watching, saying, hey, we know you traded for them. You have to play them, right? That's not how this works, right? So the idea of having something and what you have to disclose to somebody or not. So I saw this story on social media.
Yeah.
And this woman was asking, and crazy for her to do this, but she was asking the public whether or not she was in the wrong or not. So the story is, she says, so my car needed to be fixed, right? My car needed to be fixed. It was pretty expensive, $10,000, whatever it is. My boyfriend, she goes, I'm so proud of my boyfriend for picking up extra shifts to make the money and save the money in order to fix my car.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Now, she then continues to say, after the car was fixed, he found out through conversations that we had that I had an emergency fund with $20,000 in it.
Ooh.
And he goes, and now she was trying to figure out, he's mad at me now because he did all this work for the car once he found out that I had $20,000, but that's my $20,000 emergency fund.
Oh.
And everybody's thinking, what do you mean you're surprised that he's upset with you? He did all this work and you have the money. At the very least, feels like you should tell him that you can pay for it but would rather not.
At the very least.
He's thinking you don't have the money. So it reminded me of the Jazz because they have these assets that they traded for, and that's their emergency fund, and everybody's saying, you have money to spend, right? And you should play these guys. And the Jazz are saying, it's my money. I don't have to spend it if I want. It was crazy because she was very surprised as to why he was upset with her, and she just happened to not tell him that she had the money to fix the car the whole time. She just didn't want to use it.
That's a deal breaker, isn't it?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's somebody out there that says, no, that's her money. Maybe he had to ask, hey, are you sure you don't have the money? But if she says, hey, babe, I don't have the money.
It'd be one thing if he had the money and then gave it to her and it's like, whoa, you didn't need the money. But he worked?
Yes.
He worked to earn it?
Yes. And then she goes to the internet, hey, why is my boyfriend mad at me? Why? Jay, where you at with this, man?
Quick and easy, it's over with.
Yeah. It is all over.
Yeah, it's over.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. Now, I don't know where the line is where, especially if you're not married or how serious it is, but if this brother is putting in overtime and extra time, feels pretty serious to me.
Right.
He should know that you are choosing to not spend that money and then make his decision. Because it ain't his car. That was crazy to me.
Yeah. I think he should get the car. First of all, he gets the car, and then he just drives on out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the Jazz to me. We all know you have it. Now, it's different because we know the Jazz, they have a better squad than what they're putting out, but the Jazz are saying that's my prerogative. I don't have to play them. I don't have to play them every game. I don't have to do any of it. So I saw that. I thought it was pretty funny because
it is funny, but it's also I feel sad for the guy. That's
worked his butt off. You got to be out.
Yeah.
You got to drive the car on out of there.
Yeah. Did you have something you wanted to say about the Orlando Magic? Because we do have the Orlando Magic tickets to give away. Or you want to wait till they're
We'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's basically just about the fact that they've essentially done everything right. And what are they, the 7th seed right now? Maybe they could be they're either the 4th or the 7th. But my point is they're kind of stuck right now.
Yeah. Right now they are, they are the 7th seed, 20 and 24, game and a half out of the 6th spot.
So even though they tanked, they traded Aaron Gordon, they did everything right, you could, and maybe this is part of sustainable success, but now there's question marks about Paolo. They got the number 1 pick, and I don't know how many people thought that, it would be somebody else. Instead of Paolo, they get the right pick. They hit on Franz. They trade for Desmond Bane, and you can do – my point is just going back to the hybrid rebuild. You can do everything right, and, doesn't mean that you're going to walk into a 3 seed.
The scary thing is I think since they went to the finals, and I know that was a long time ago, 2009, I think they've tanked twice. They tanked, and they ended up with, like Aaron Gordon and Vucevic, and that didn't work.
Right.
They tanked again to get where they are now, and they're still –
Yeah. Last season was supposed to be
one of the better teams in the East.
Yeah, last season was supposed to be their season. Now this season was supposed to be their season with the East being weak, and they can't really get up. Maybe it's a different coach away, but people are starting to question Paolo Banchero. And I think, real quick, Whitey, that might be affecting some of the Cam Boozer stuff.
All right. I don't think that's fair, but I understand it. What's the number here? If you would like a couple tickets to see the Kings taking on Orlando on the 19th, just be caller number what, Alan?
5.
Caller 5. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Caller 5 picks up a couple of tickets to the Kings. I believe it's the first game after the All-Star break concludes.
That's right.
So, good luck. Thanks for listening. When we come back, Dan Favali from Bleacher Report on the tank-off that's about to go down tonight in Utah. That's next. Sactown Sports. Pardon me.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Valentine's Day is coming, and here at Madison Avenue Florist, we have all the favorites. Over 60 variety of roses alone. We've been on the corner of College Oak and Madison for 40 years. Voted best of Sacramento. Come on in, we'll show you why. Order now and mention this ad and get 10% off any order over $80. Order early for the best selection and delivery options. Madison Avenue Florist, for when the moments matter. MadisonAvenueFlorist.net.
Okay, guys, who is done with their Valentine's Day shopping? What are you waiting for? Stop putting off your Valentine's Day shopping and go to Prestigio Jewelers today.
She's right. Prestigio Jewelers has everything you need for Valentine's this year. And you're approved guaranteed. No credit, bad credit, even bankruptcy? 6 months proof of income guarantees you a credit line of $400 to $10,000. Time is running out. Make this a Valentine's Day she'll never forget. Visit one of our showrooms today or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Plus, free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, February 14th in Sacramento. Large framing and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if the greatest player on the court wasn't who you expected? This February, experience heart, hustle, and a whole new kind of hero in Sony's GOAT, the animated sports adventure for the whole family. Only in theaters February 13th, rated PG.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sac-Town Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Once the trade deadline was over in the NBA, there was a vacuum of things to talk about, and a lot of that has been filled with anger and angst over tanking. Too many teams are tanking. Well, tonight the Kings finding themselves at the epicenter of tanking, taking on the Utah Jazz. Nice enough to join us with more on that and everything else going on in the NBA. NBA reporter for Bleacher Report, Hardwood Knocks pod host, Dan Favali with us. How are you today, Dan?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Thank you very much for joining us. How concerned is the league with tanking right now? And should a team like the Kings, that this is the first year they've really been involved in this, should they be concerned that the league might be looking at, as Bobby Marks said, bringing the hammer down at some point?
I wouldn't be concerned as a team, because what does the hammer look like? It might look like fines. And if it improves your shot at getting a really high draft pick that can change and alter the course of your entire franchise, you suck it up and you pay the fine.
Yeah.
I know Utah's become the poster child for this. Even since they flattened the lottery odds, tanking is just not new. The system incentivizes teams to be worse, to improve their chance at getting a player who can ensure that they don't have to do this. So if I'm the Kings, I'm not worried about the league coming down on me. I mean, long term, what does this look like? But if I'm the Kings, I just want to make sure that I'm staying in those bottom four to make sure that I have those top lottery odds.
Dan, my guy, thank you for joining us. Whitey and I have been going back and forth with the idea that all tanking is not created equal or is created equal, because the Kings, they were playing their guys. They just weren't very good. And I think early on they thought they would maybe be the Phoenix Suns, whereas the Jazz, they are pulling guys out if they're winning the game, regardless of whether they're winning or losing. Do you feel like the league is in a position where they have a new problem with the Jazz deciding, oh, we'll play them, but we don't have to listen to you as far as how much we have to play them?
Yeah, there's certainly something to all tanking isn't created equal, but I don't know if there's more integrity in thinking that you're going to be good or okay and then you stink. I think the league also created this problem by saying there are certain players based on this criteria who qualify as stars, and so they need to play in these games. Does it look better if Jaren Jackson Jr. and Larry Markkinen aren't playing in Utah an entire game? Probably. Like, the optics of them playing, smattering of minutes through the first 3 quarters, not being on the floor in crunch time. And it also doesn't help that in the Jazz's case, we've seen games where they've actually been leading and those guys aren't on the floor. And so a lot of these teams where they don't have enough talent or maybe even the coaching to be in competitive games against a playoff team like the Orlando Magic, but the Jazz are. And so I think that's a unique case, but I think the league at large created this issue for itself, because I think it would fly more so under the radar if guys just weren't playing. People would forget about it. But the more you see them on the court, and then when the minutes start to matter or the games are close and they're not on the court, that's a more egregious form of tanking to me.
Yeah, Dan Favali with us from Bleacher Report. Have we perhaps, by we I mean the NBA, since they in 2019 flattened the odds, have they gone maybe too far, Dan? Because now the idea of a draft, obviously, is to help the teams that need help, give them a shot at the better players. But since they flattened the odds in 2019, the worst team has not gotten the number one pick ever, and it certainly has not curbed tanking. Seems like maybe more teams are tanking because they think, well, those aren't great odds, but they're the best odds, and if we're bottom three, we can get them. Has the NBA maybe actually made things worse in their efforts to reform the lottery?
I don't think the lottery system has made things worse, because even if you had kept it the same, or even if you adopted an NFL model where it's just the reverse order of looking at the records, the tanking would still be there. If anything, it might just be more egregious from an earlier point in the season. We've kind of always had this midseason shift where teams recognize they're not in it, and then they pivot to, let's call it player development or the future or the bigger picture, whatever you want to say. I actually think the introduction of the play-in tournament has helped a little bit, because now you are giving teams, in theory, something to put. Like, there's the Dallas Mavericks example where they pivot out of the play-in that year, where they end up with Derek Lively. They made a trade in that draft to keep their pick. But you do have teams that, look at the Hornets this year. They're a team that might have considered tanking if the play-in tournament doesn't exist. I think I don't know what they could do to the lottery itself to fix it. I've bandied about a bunch of different ideas. My favorite one that I've seen so far is having wins count after the trade deadline, which I think works in service of what the Jazz did at this trade deadline. Is you would see these teams who maybe aren't good, but they go out and get a really good player who can help them win games and improve their lottery odds. But I think a bigger deal might be, or just as big of a deal, don't allow those weirdly protected draft picks where Utah has that top 8 protection to Oklahoma City, where Philly had, top 6 or whatever it was last year, because then that's going to cause teams to be even more egregious with their tanking. You should just limit maybe to top 4 protection, I think, is the idea that's been thrown out there. There's a ton of different things they could do, but as long as the overarching end game is these teams are bad, and regardless of how small the chance is still going to be better to land a higher pick in the draft, we're going to see things like this.
We've gone from load management to actual injury management with a lot of different injuries popping up. Dan, do you think that there is any reason to truly have a conversation about the league possibly shortening the season? I know the TV deals and all of that, but a lot of these guys are getting injured. We're seeing soft tissue, we're seeing Achilles, things like that. Is there any world where the league actually thinks about shortening the season?
I can't picture it. And I think if there was ever a hope, it was a couple years ago now, where there was a study that came out where it showed that load management either didn't help with actual injury management, or it had no impact. And it was just very convenient that it happened to align with the NBA's business interests. I think for anything to really change on the schedule front, you would have to see a push from the players union in a CBA negotiation. And I don't know if we're ever going to see that, because the players probably stand to make less money if there's fewer games. And at the end of the day, that's what drives this entire entertainment product. Because we could talk about, well, look at the integrity of these all-time records and these seasons in which guys will have played a different number of games. It's really just more so about the money, the broadcast deals, even the revenues and all the stuff that comes with it. I could see the players pushing for, let's say, a 60-game schedule or whatever the optimal number might be, but are they still going to get the same paychecks? And the league is probably going to push back the owners and say, no, that kind of falls by the wayside. So I'll be shocked if anything like that ever happens.
Dan Favali with us from Bleach Report. Sidebar, Dan, some people in the chat are wondering about your shoes. How many shoes do we have there? And I'm curious. I really am. The autographed ball behind you. What's right under the Knicks jersey? What kind of basketball is that? What's the significance?
So I think that I grew up a Knicks fan, and now I'm more so just like a dead inside impartial observer of the Knicks. So those are Patrick Ewing and Walt Clyde Frazier autographed basketballs.
Wow.
And I don't even know how many pairs. I probably don't want to even count them to think how much money I've burned, but probably 20 or 30 pairs of Converses there.
Nice. Yeah.
Dan, we got to ask you about the Kings specifically. Were you surprised at what they did or didn't do at the deadline? They get DeAndre Hunter. Unfortunately, he gets poked in the eye and he's been out. Keon and Schroeder are in Cleveland enjoying a winning situation. Were you surprised at the decision to move Keon, what they got back, and the fact that they were kind of stuck, and at least they're telling us they were stuck and they couldn't make any other moves?
I'm not surprised that this was the biggest splash we saw from them, because I really don't believe that there was a strong market for any of the guys they would have liked to have traded, or in the case where I do believe there was a market for Sabonis, they probably didn't want to take a bath on the return like you could argue the Hawks did with Trae Young, or what the Mavericks did with Anthony Davis, or even something worse where maybe you were getting some poorer contracts back in return. To see just sort of these chain of events wrap themselves up, though, where this front office trades Jonas Valanciunas to have Dario Saric on the roster so they can get the flexibility to sign Dennis Schroeder, and then use Keon Ellis, who they could have made a restricted free agent but elected not to, as sort of the wheels greaser of, well, let's get off this Dennis Schroeder money, while also needing to compensate to get off the Dario Saric money. It's just bad optics, but it's also, I think we've entered with the Kings the realm of what is supposed to surprise us at this point. I honestly don't know what they could have done that would have shocked anybody.
Dan, we're wondering what you think here as far as a potential market for Jeremy Sohan, who was reached an agreement to be waived by the Spurs. Obviously, a lot of us in Sacramento think that'd be nice if you brought him in. I don't know if he'd have any interest in coming here. A really good defender who just needs more minutes. What kind of market do you expect him to have? How many teams do you think might be willing to take a flyer on him for the rest of this year?
I think a bunch of them will, because as you alluded to, there's real defensive malleability there. I think early on he was miscast as someone who can turn the water off of the other team's best player, and that's not really his game. He could be more of a team defender if you need to put him on the second or third best player. Offensively is going to be the challenge. I think the pitch to him has to be having a plan offensively. We saw the Spurs use him basically as their point guard. We saw them use him as their center. We saw them trying using him as a wing. He needs, I don't even know who would be a good analog for him. Maybe the way that Amen Thompson is used a lot of the time in Houston. He doesn't have that nuclear athleticism, but where they have him stationed away from the ball, the Kings would be interesting if Sabonis is going to be playing games, to have that facilitating big man and to work off of that. But I think offensively is the key with him, that you need to have a plan in place, because he's such an eccentric offensive player. And the jump shot is just, it's never going to be there. We've seen, it's never going to be there. And so you have to factor that into your offensive equation.
That's such a nice way you put it. He's such an eccentric offensive player.
Yes.
Isn't that classy?
Unique. Yes. Unique. Yes. Yeah. Dan, just one more for you from our side. Well, look, speaking of tank, there's a reason everyone is doing it. The NBA draft, it's supposed to be one of the best that we've seen in a very long time. You got any question marks with the Darren Peterson, Kansas stuff? And who is your number one pick right now?
I'm fascinated with AJ Dubinsa, to answer the second part of that question first. I think that he's going to be able to do a variety of different things at the NBA level and could be part of some really freaky lineups with whichever team he's on, like some sort of positional lineups that have really good size. The Darren Peterson stuff just doesn't, I've given up based on, one, I won't pretend to have followed it nearly as closely enough, but I've given up on a lot of just the pre-draft, warts, where if you look back to Andrew Wiggins or Anthony Edwards and Jaylen Brown, and the questions were with Jaylen Brown, was he too smart to be in the NBA? Did Anthony Edwards like basketball enough? And so I think now, especially with, the nil rights being out there, is that players in college are going to look out for their long-term equity more so than anything. And this stuff, just as if I was employed by a team, or even just as someone who covers the league, it really doesn't faze me at this point.
Last one, Dan. Thanks for your time. Any question that it's going to be Seattle and Las Vegas announced as the expansion NBA teams this weekend?
No, with the caveat that I remain skeptical that we're going to get the announcement. It feels like they've dangled this stuff on a carrot to us for how many years? And it felt like maybe it was with the broadcast rights deals coming up, as that would potentially accelerated this last season. But I really thought we might have gotten the announcement last year. So if it comes, and I hope it comes, I think the league is built for expansion. I would be flabbergasted if it's not Las Vegas and Seattle.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks so much, guys, for having me. Take care.
Thanks, Dan.
Hope to talk to you again soon. I've never heard her put that way, and it's very appropriate. He's a very eccentric offensive player.
You like
Jeremy
that
Sohan.
one?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
A really nice way to say it.
He can do different things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe we won't get the announcement at the All-Star Weekend on the 2 new expansion teams in the NBA.
Well, it feels like they want to use it for when things get really bad. And I don't know if they're, like we said, there are a couple cuts, but no real gashes right now to kind of save how people feel about the NBA. So maybe it's not bad enough yet.
Yeah. So he also pointed out, obviously, to Dan Favali, that there's probably a lot of NBA teams that have interest in Jeremy Sohan. And if that's the case, have a hard time believing, Alan, as much as I want to believe, I have a hard time believing that he and the Kings are going to be a match.
Well,
yes, Scott, sign me up.
Well, look, I mean, how eccentric he is as an offensive player, I don't know how much you actually really want him.
You don't know how much I want him?
Yeah.
I do want him now.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
he's
that'd be
eccentric.
a tremendous pickup.
He's eccentric.
I know, but this is exactly the type of player that you want for the rest of this year. And it's exactly the type of player that makes this season a little more interesting for the rest of us.
I was just saying this a couple weeks ago.
I didn't want to trade for him.
What was it, second rounder, whatever?
Yeah. I think you wanted to trade, and maybe I'm wrong. I
was
think
it
you wanted to
Keon?
trade draft capital for him or Keon, and I didn't want to do that. But now
I would have rather traded Keon for Jeremy Sohan than DeAndre Hunter, and I can say that with a straight face.
Really, I'm not with you on that.
Okay.
Because of his eccentricities offensively. I know that DeAndre Hunter's having a bad year, but he can still shoot.
I know. Okay.
It seems like the Spurs kind of tried to hide him because he's so limited on that end. So you play point guard. It's like, no, well, you'll be a small ball center. No, all right, you're going to sit.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to stop with the one-handed free throws. That's the first thing I'm telling him. If you want somebody to take you seriously, you got to stop. You have to. I know it's just supposed to be a guide hand. But just put it there, man. No one's going to take you seriously.
This is a really important rest of the season for the Jazz because they obviously want to protect their pick, which is what, top 8 protected, or else they lose it. So they want to keep that pick. But given that, as we said, and the Kings are in a similar boat, Utah next season would like to make a run. They actually would like to be relevant and try for the first time in years. And given that it's their last chance to load up in the draft because the following year the draft, by all accounts, is like, So it's crucially important for them. This is their last step before coming back into the surface world, into the light of day.
Exactly. And they know that, and that's why, again, I don't think that this whole idea of you got to punish them, there's nothing you can do to implement a punishment this season. So the Jazz are thinking, if you want to punish us in 2027, go ahead.
But if they fail, if they fumble the bag here and come back out and try to be relevant and they didn't do the tanking right, it's all for naught.
I think they did, though.
It looks like they did.
Yeah,
they're going to be a big team.
Right. They're still using, picks from the Donovan Mitchell trade, and you're able to get Jaren Jackson, and you got Laurie, and now you got Ace Bailey, who was supposed to be one of the best players. We don't even talk about Ace Bailey. And then you've not really found money, but Keontae George, which maybe wasn't on their radar to be this. Then you get another pick here. And then you get guys like Filipowski. I mean, they got a crew. So I think at the very least, they'll be, again, smaller market. They'll be in the mix for your 4 through. Because the Warriors, I mean, you're also just waiting out teams that are going to go away. Like the Clippers are gone. The Clippers are about to go away. The Warriors are about to go away. I don't know what the Lakers are going to do. The Lakers never really go away. The Mavericks, they're very interesting to me, but it feels like they're already away. So it's just a revolving door. And if you are a small market team, the number one thing is you just want that playoff revenue. You want to be in the playoffs. And I do think the Jazz, again, having a conversation about finding the guy and being in championship conversations versus, let's say, the Timberwolves. Like, I think the Timberwolves are a perfect example of, I guess, the epitome of, or the ceiling of a small market team, right? You found your guy, you get to the Western Conference Finals, you maybe haven't won a championship, maybe you don't win a championship, but you are in the mix time and time again. I don't know if the Jazz will do that, but if they're around there, that's a win.
Are you all in on Darren Peterson after Dan Favali said, and somebody said it on the show yesterday, it might have been you. Somebody pointed out, look, we have these every draft. There's these people that say, Ant doesn't really want to play basketball.
I forgot about the Jaylen Brown is too smart one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, I mentioned Ant yesterday, but still slightly different than what's going on here. That's not really character. That's motor. And I don't know if Darren Peterson is motor or character. I don't know.
The reason I don't question his basketball character is because I know in high school when he went head-to-head with DeBonsa, he destroyed him, and he did that last Saturday, although it was only for the first half. He does rise to the occasion in those big games.
Yeah.
I saw a theory today, and I think it was on Reddit, but somebody who claims to be a medical student was saying, he may actually be recovering, Peterson, from serious quadriceps injury, which takes time and makes it harder to do when you're still playing.
Right.
But I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of, I don't know. And I don't want to say we're moving away from it, but I do think a lot of people, it's the same thing with the LeBron situation. A lot of people really like the Kobe ideal of anytime I can get on the court, I'm going to get on the court and I'm going to destroy my opponent and I never want to sit. I think a lot of people still liken that because Jordan was the same way. Jordan, Kobe. So the LeBron, and not to say LeBron's not like that, but you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
When you maybe are a different type of player than that, I think that, that makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think there's a generation of players that pattern their game after Kobe. I think you could say to a degree Jason Tatum. I think Kaminga has talked to that. Those players, though, and it's not easy to duplicate, but they pattern their offensive game after Kobe. But the rest of what really made Kobe special, you can't duplicate it.
No.
And it's that desire to crush you.
Yes.
And it's also that desire which made him a great defensive player.
Yeah, and there's only one Kobe. So everybody thinking that everyone has that.
Actually, there's a lot now. You notice how many guys are named Kobe?
Well, that's true. But also, people make fun of Jason Tatum for wanting to emulate Kobe too much, and they do the same thing with Jalen Williams on the Thunder. So
yeah, but he only really does it at one end.
Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
He can defend a little bit.
Yeah, but not like Kobe.
Well, no, like Kobe, but he's not Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's how he wants to be that guy almost to a fault where people will kind of joke him. But then there's the Darren Peterson. And funny enough, if you follow LeBron, what did LeBron represent? Not just on the court. LeBron represented player power and player control. And I think that some of the players these days are looking at that saying, this is my version of player empowerment. I don't have to play if I don't feel like playing, and you're still going to take me top 3. And you know what, Darren? You're right. So what are we talking about?
So take him, right? Take him. If you got a shot, you got to take him. He's that good. As long as everything else checks out.
We don't have to make it. We don't have to make a decision now.
Right.
Let's see how the conference tournaments go. Let's see how March Madness goes.
Yeah. Interesting thing about the Jazz, and you touched on this. When the Kings, they're focused obviously on getting their house in order. At some point, who knows when, they'll come out of it and they'll compete again. But what will the landscape in the West look like at that point? Hard to say because we're not sure when that's going to be. But you mentioned Utah. As it sits right now, and of course this all depends on the lottery, they would have the 6th pick and they'd get Keaton Wagler, who's a freshman wing from Illinois. Really good player. Dallas would be 7th. They'd get Mikael Brown Jr., who just scored 45 points. Memphis would get Nate Ament. So all these teams that are in the same area as the Kings, but actually have been a little bit better and are a little ahead of the Kings in terms of the tanking timeline. If those teams continue to do things right, the Kings are going to be dealing with them when they come out of this.
Right. Even though the elder statesman teams would be gone, doesn't really matter because there's a new crop that's been looped in.
Yeah. I mean, look at Memphis.
Yeah. And look, I know that I talked about the Clippers and the Warriors, but you never know. All they need is to get lucky one time and they could be back in the mix. So look, there's no easy way. I think what's interesting is the distribution of talent feels like it's expanded where there's never just going to be a time where there's just teams that just stink to stink. If they stink for a reason.
Before we go, we want to let you know Drive Guys want to make your Valentine's Day special with a chance to win a $50 gift card to Madison Avenue Florist for the perfect Valentine's Day bouquet. But wait, there's more. You also win a gift card for a dinner for two from Roosters on the River. $100 to Gazetta Jewelers as well, Roseville's premier jewelry store for all your jewelry needs. We're looking for lucky caller number 2. Caller 2. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140, pardon me. To win this Valentine's bundle from the Drive Guys, that's caller 2, 916-339-1140. We're back with you tomorrow. Game night is coming up on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors